What are the 3 big myths of the subscription business that cause many unsuspecting businesses to fail? That's our topic for today. I'm Robert Scrobe, and this is the show that helps your membership or subscription business to be unleavable. For more than 5 years, the subscription model has been widely hailed as a game changer for generating recurring profits in a business. The media has been saying things like, the subscription economy is experiencing massive growth. I'm talking tens of billions of dollars annually. Subscriptions are becoming ubiquitous. Subscription economy grows more than 300% in the last 7 years. Then Entrepreneur.com published, the subscription economy is growing fast. Here's how your business can adapt and thrive. Fortune magazine was even bolder with, it's a subscription economy and you're just living in it. Forbes asked, are we at a subscription economy tipping point? And even though they aren't known for hyperbole, even the Harvard Business Review got onto the bandwagon reporting, over the past decade, the subscription economy has experienced significant growth, consistently expanding 5 to 8 times faster than traditional businesses, according to industry research. This interest in the subscription model has resulted in a flood of new offerings, many of which failed badly or became a big mess. As someone who fixes subscription businesses, that's been great for me, because record numbers of business owners and their teams have been approaching me for help. While a subscription business obviously can be powerful, there's a side of the business model that often gets ignored. In this episode, I'll reveal the 3 biggest myths of subscription business and show you how to avoid the pitfalls. Before we dive in, press the like button and also subscribe to this channel to make sure that you're the first to know about future episodes. As I mentioned, there are 3 huge myths that entice business leaders into launching a subscription model when it might not be the right choice for their objectives. Here are the myths. Number 1, faster growth. Number 2, lower CAC. Number 3, loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. Let's discuss and dispel each myth. Myth number 1, faster growth. Let's review the first 3 years of growth for a typical subscription business. Year 1, it's looking like a rocket ship of growth with consistent new subscriber acquisition and a reasonably small churn rate. This business catapults from 0 to $592,000 in monthly recurring revenue. Year 2, the CEO appears on stages at industry events, and the company is widely lauded as more proof of the greatness of the subscription business model. Keeping the same subscriber acquisition numbers and churn rate, the business grows in the second year up to $810,000 a month in recurring revenue. Nice growth. However, at this point, leaders inside the business often become worried. This is the time when the smartest ones reach out to me. Then, as we go into year 3, left to their own devices, there's straight up panic. With the same rate of new subscriber acquisition and the same modest churn rate, business growth slows. Now, just $890,850 of monthly recurring revenue after 3 years. This business has reached what I call the subscription growth ceiling. The myth of faster business growth yields to the reality of the subscription model. Subscriber churn rate is the headwind of the subscription business model growth. It's the force that pushes constantly to slow growth, and it's also the dose of reality that prevents businesses from experiencing exponential growth. As I've said, this growth pattern is almost ubiquitous in the subscription industry. There are at least a dozen high-profile public companies, including Netflix, that have followed the same pattern. How many subscription businesses with slowing growth do you need to see? Rather than faster growth, subscription businesses tend to slow down as their churn rate approaches their growth rate. How can this be overcome? There are a lot that can be done, and one of the best strategies is to implement a new subscriber onboarding program with a carefully designed 7-day new member email series. When done right, that's been proven to retain more subscribers and enable subscription businesses to grow exponentially again. That brings us to number 2, lower customer acquisition costs. The widespread perception is that since you're rebilling existing subscribers each month or year, that income doesn't involve any acquisition costs because it's a renewal to an existing customer. That's part of the story. But in today's subscription world, the initial acquisition costs are usually higher for subscription businesses than traditional offers. Customers are generally reluctant to commit to ongoing payments. So you have to work harder to overcome that threshold to get customers through that barrier. Truth is, the CAC payback period, the amount of time it takes for the customer to pay back in revenue, the marketing investment that was used to acquire that customer, are often a lot longer for subscription businesses. And there's a couple of other factors that weigh into the mix. The initial transaction amount for subscriptions is often low because subscription leaders frequently use a discounted trial to encourage new subscribers to give their program a try, and unfortunately that delays the cash flow. And you only receive revenue from retained subscribers. Thus, the CAC you spent to acquire customers that cancel within the first month or two has to be repaid by subscribers who don't churn. First month churn is the most expensive kind of churn. And for most subscription businesses, it's when their churn rate is the highest. So the belief that customer acquisition costs are lower with a subscription business is rarely true. More often than not, those costs are higher. Finally, myth number 3, loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. Subscription zealots are quick to proclaim that customers prefer subscribing over ownership. After all, why own when you can subscribe? As an example, some cite Apple Music subscription as a case study because you pay monthly for access to 1 million songs versus buying each one individually. Or in the fashion industry, who would want to buy a dress when you can simply rent beautiful clothes instead? It is true that customers like paying less for something and still getting the benefit of it. It is an easy sale. But this doesn't mean these subscribers will be loyal. In fact, what most subscription businesses discover when they embrace the idea of offering stuff for a cheap price is that they attract cheap customers. And cheap customers are quick to cancel when they discover a new, cheaper alternative. Cheapest price offers are a really tough way to grow subscription revenue. Think of it this way. Most subscription businesses are luxury purchases. Luxury purchases are about the feeling more than they are about the stuff that's delivered. Thus, subscription growth is based on the feeling you provide your subscribers more than the materials you fulfill. For instance, Costco makes members feel like smart shoppers. Netflix makes their subscribers feel like the cool kids, able to talk about the newest hit shows. And this is even more true for HBO Max or Showtime. Even consumables like Dollar Shave Club's explosive growth was more about sticking it to the big razor companies who overcharge consumers than it was about the convenience of getting blades by mail. Customers are loyal when the future benefits outweigh the current costs. Those benefits are often focused on solving a problem. Plus, there's the subtext, the benefit beyond the obvious problem solution, and that's all about the feeling the subscription delivers to the subscriber. A special level of status that enables the customer to feel superior, different, and better than without having the subscription. So to summarize, the 3 myths again are faster growth, lower CAC, and loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. Fortunately, there's one way for a subscription leader to address each of these 3 subscription myths. As I hinted at earlier, they all can be minimized when subscription leaders onboard new subscribers using a specially designed email onboarding sequence that accomplishes specific objectives over the course of the first 7 days. You can get more information about the onboarding 7 email sequence I recommend at evergreenretentionmachine.com. Proper onboarding using a well-constructed email sequence addresses the 3 myths. Number 1, faster growth. It stops a lot more subscribers from quitting, increasing retention, making growth exponential again. 2, lower CAC. When you keep subscribers longer, your CAC payback period is shorter because more subscribers are generating revenue. Nothing does this better than proper onboarding. 3, loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. Building the perceived value of your subscription beyond cheap stuff to create a luxury experience that makes your customer feel superior. All 3 of these are best created by a 7-day onboarding campaign for new subscribers. That's what it takes to be unleavable. Let's summarize this lesson. There are 3 huge myths that entice business leaders into launching a subscription model when it might not be the right business model for their objectives. Myth number 1, faster growth. Growth does appear faster shortly after launching a subscription model. Revenue compounds as you accumulate subscribers. However, the business will plateau unless your team understands how to drive LTV with better onboarding for retention. Then myth number 2, lower CAC. If anything, customer acquisition cost is actually higher because consumers are often reluctant to cross the threshold when they know a commitment is involved. But there's a benefit of reselling to existing customers as long as you're able to get high retention rates with good onboarding. And finally, myth number 3, loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. It's often expressed that customers prefer subscription to ownership, and that makes them loyal to companies providing subscription offerings. Turns out, members are loyal to those who solve important problems. And even if you provided what you promised in the past, that's not enough to guarantee perpetual renewals. Relationship-focused onboarding is what creates loyalty, not the subscription offer. The number 1 solution to address these problems is a 7-day, strategically designed email onboarding sequence to increase retention for faster growth, have a shorter customer acquisition cost payback period with more subscribers generating revenue, and a higher perceived value delivering that luxury experience that retains subscribers for life. With that in mind, I'm confident that you'll love this resource. After more than 25 years of working with subscription and membership businesses, I've discovered how many subscription businesses can slash churn rates by 20% or more in 2 hours or less. It's by implementing 7 new subscriber onboarding emails so subscribers are more excited a week after they joined than when they chose to subscribe. I've outlined the 7 emails online, giving what to include within each email. Instantly access that page at evergreenretentionmachine.com. That page gives you the opportunity to get the email templates, have me walk you through implementation, and get your questions answered. You'll probably want that too, but there's no obligation. Which of these 3 myths do you most relate to in your business? I'd love to get your opinion and feedback about that or anything else that we've covered in this episode. Post your thoughts in the comments below. I always love to hear from you. Also, remember to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and that way you'll be the first to know when new episodes are available. And check out this video on the subscription business model warning. Learn from movie past mistakes to grow your subscription revenue. Enjoy that episode, and I'll see you next time on Be Unleavable.